Hello there, you, and welcome to an army of the Black Legion, as they're about to go head-to-head with the forces of Tau. In this battle for domination, both sides claim one half of the fortress each. Will the ranged firepower of the Tau be enough to claim victory, or will the tank brigades of the Black Legion bust through the Tau lines? Let's find out as we battle for the Gate of Avernus. Here we go then, ladies and gentlemen, kicking off today's battle. Now this one should be really interesting. Like I said, we've split the fortress here right down the middle, allowing both Chaos and the Tau to claim some defensible positions and also have to fight it out here on the open plains. We've got the Tau on the right, Chaos on the left, and already the Chaos are making a break for the waterworks here, trying to push their troops through it. The Tau looking to be taking a little bit more of a measured approach at the moment, slow and methodical here, trying to probably not waste their troops in the water. The Chaos, on the other hand, completely not bothered about the lives of their troops and are now flinging them into the waterworks to try and get towards the Tau. They're going to build some natural body bridges here out of the corpses of their fellow units. But look at this, a gigantic battle is starting to take place as both teams here collide towards each other. Now these central areas are going to be filtering out because a lot of the water at the moment needs to drain out. So as the water starts to drain out to the center, we should see the battle evolve and more units spread out here. But at the moment, we got this crazy battle for the concourse in front of the gateway. With Chaos and Tau here forcing units into this tiny little area. Now the Chaos have brought an overwhelming amount of tanks into the field here. Their idea is to just bombard the tower from a distance. Because of course the Tau Renegade Gunners, that's not a thing. The Tau Fire Warriors here have a superior range over the Renegade Gunners. So the Chaos's countermeasure is, okay, if you're going to blast us from afar, we're going to blast you from afar here with tank rounds, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Now the great equalizer for the Chaos, hopefully, is going to be the Black Legion themselves, but of course the Tau's weaponry is more than capable of actually dealing with Space Marines. Look at this, it's already brutal on this front line. The Tau actually just storming forward. That could be, though, because they've got things like the XV8 suits. You can already see a couple of hammerheads lining up behind them, as well as the Fire Warrior firepower. The Renegade Gunners have to get a little bit closer here. Look, this is basically how close the Renegade Gunners have to get to be able to shoot. Meanwhile, the Tau, all the way back here, practically really far away from the battlefield. But that's why the tank rounds here are going to be so effective for the Chaos. Look, you can see them just landing in amongst them there. Let's go check onto the plains over here, because this battle in the water should be absolutely insane. Both unit sides are going to be losing an insane amount of units here. Some to drowning and some to the actual damage. Look at them XV8 suits there. We're just opening up across these plains. The Chaos taking huge losses as they try to push across the waterworks here. But both sides now clashing in the center. You can see, though, it's kind of hard to see who's actually winning here. There's no real front line yet. Again, it feels like the Tau are actually progressing really nicely. Just this slow, methodical approach here. Laying down the firepower, making sure that they've got enough troops, where the Chaos is much more of a sporadic attack here. Just launching everything they've got forward in the general direction of the enemy, which is quite typical for Chaos, let's face it. But at the moment, the Karut, absolute masterclass in melee here, teaching these Renegade Gunners that a bayonet is not enough. Meanwhile, though, all these tank rounds that are just screaming overhead are landing in the back lines of the Tau, and this is exactly what the Chaos want. So really, the Renegade Gunners are just here to buy vital seconds to keep the Fire Warriors here from laying their firepower down onto the tanks themselves. Because realistically, these Fire Warriors, they're going to attack the closest target, and that is going to be the Renegade Gunners, which is going to allow these tanks to just keep pouring on at that firepower here. Again, though, the Tau, you can't really see the Tau's guns return fire because the bullets are so fast that they just sort of instantly appear towards the enemy. That's a railgun for you, though. Just absolutely blapses its round across the field. Now, you can see, though, it looks like the Chaos are really starting to thin out here. And that'll be because there's this little terrain thing here where there's this tiny little lip where the Chaos can't actually get over. So they're just sort of having to come through these little narrow gaps. I don't think it's as much of a problem for the Tau, but they certainly have a little bit of it. But that at the moment is stemming the flow of Chaos reinforcements. Just look at this battlefield, man. That is a horrific sight down here. The Chaos forces are getting decimated in these open plains. But they have actually still got a decent amount of kills, though. The Tau are losing units rapidly also. Again, them tank rounds are doing that damage. And the Chaos certainly have the numbers on the side. They outnumber the Tau. Let's go back over here. I want to go see what's happening at the actual front of the gatehouse. Have the Tau managed to push forward? It's looking like a brutal back and forth so far. Yeah, it's just almost a stalemate. I mean, you can definitely tell that the Tau have made progress. This was the starting point. We're now over here, but it has been costly again. Look at them tank rounds streaming overhead. Meanwhile, the pulse fire from the XV8 suits. We have got a couple of them just, spraying pure death across the harbour area. Again, look at this. The superior range of these guys. They're able to shoot from all the way over here, comparative to the tanks of the Chaos, which have had to get a really up close and personal. You can tell some of the water has started draining out because a couple of the tanks have made their way across there. But it might also be that the tanks are blocking a little bit of the reinforcements for the Chaos to come in. Oh man, that is brutal. Yeah, that firepower coming out of the Tau. Definitely having an effect on the front lines of the Chaos units here. But again, it's that just the constant flow that Chaos is able to keep up, which is the only thing that's hindering the Tau. But the Chaos need to hold this portion, because otherwise they're going to start getting outflanked just a little bit. But the reinforcements are coming in quite steadily here. Look, they're all ploughing in now. They've all come in from the top up there. What about the Chaos? Although the Chaos have actually still got a reasonable amount of units coming in. So the Chaos have definitely got the reinforcements on that side, but they haven't got the firepower. Looking over here as well, we have got a bunch of Tau still coming, making their way out into the open plains here. So we're going to get a pretty brutal battle on this side of it. But I'm a little bit worried that Chaos might be losing its grip on the further field over here. Look at this now. The crews have managed to push all the way across the water here, now using the corpses of the Chaos to be able to actually traverse it safely. But the tank fire is pretty substantial over here. Let's have a look how they're getting on this side. Again, it looks like they're pushing right up across the waterworks. And again, look, you can see these body piles really helping the flow of troops. Oh god, there's so many tank shells, it's brilliant. I actually haven't seen many of the Black Legion, I've got to be honest. There's only like 250 of them on the field. I say only, there's still quite a lot of them, but it's still like trying to find a needle in the haystack when there's a couple of million troops on the field. But they're in here somewhere, they've got to be. I would imagine actually that they're relatively at the back, because they do have some decent range on them. But yeah, I'm just not seeing them. Oh, okay. Oh dear. I found one of them, but he's not in a good state. I wonder if the cube's here. In one of our last maps, we had a giant cube that was just floating over here somewhere. Can't remember exactly where it was, but yeah, there was just like a giant white cube floating in the middle of the map, and I was like, no idea how it got there. I can't actually see it this time, interestingly. Okay, looks like the giant cube has disappeared this time. Oh well, farewell, friend. I'm actually, look at this though. Everything that the Tau have has now been committed to this attack across the waterworks. The river is infested with the Tau. But I'm actually thinking that a lot of the Chaos tanks may have been taken out by the Fire Warriors at this point. The reinforcements for the Chaos is looking mighty thin up front. Oh god, they've got so much firepower just firing into the side of this fortress here. Look at that. Look at all these tanks here. A lot of them are just... The rounds are getting wasted on the building. For Pete's sake, guys, come on. What have we actually got going on over here? Okay, a bunch of Karut making their way across. They're trying an amphibious assault. Good luck to them. Let's move around. God, they really have pushed up. Look at this. There's so many of them now. The Chaos not able to keep up the flow of reinforcements to this particular part of the battlefield. However, we do have still do have a lot of tanks in that center portion there. They are laying down some heavy covering fire into that flank. It's just whether we can keep the Karut at bay over this side. And again, Fire Warriors have now pushed up behind this too. So there's a lot of firepower coming across the water. In terms of troops remaining as well, it's fairly even realistically. There's not that much difference between them. I do feel like Karuts are starting to win this portion of the field though. The Chaos really struggling to keep up with the kill pace. We have got a bunch of renegade gunners in here until a railgun round just absolutely obliterated them in front of our very eyes. But yeah, that firepower is just definitely lacking here. Even with all the tanks that they had, the Chaos still struggling to hold back that firepower from the Karuts. Oh my god, though, yeah, there's still a lot of it on the field. Look. Again, they're just pumping it into the flanks. I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing. It's hard to tell. But it certainly caused heavy losses here for the Tau. I can tell you that much. Okay, so yeah, the guys on the waterworks now coming under heavy bombardment. Let's go check down here. So it looks like we've got the last of the Tau forces coming down that rampart. We've still got a fair few coming down for Chaos. Now, what's happened with the battle? Oh, it looks like we've entered a bit of a stalemate here. Oh no. Yeah, we've entered a brutal stalemate between the two teams. Just this absolute defilade of corpses has been made now. And this just means neither side is winning anymore. The Chaos tanks are doing enough damage to stem the tide to allow the weaker units of Chaos to hold that front in place. This is something actually that the Tau really cannot afford this sort of tactic. The Chaos have got a lot of throwaway units and they're basically using the Black Legion and tanks to pound the ever-living heck out of the Tau. And that's exactly what's happening. The rest of them, they're just there to, you know, provide that covering fire. A little bit of valuable few seconds on the field. My days. Oh, it's brilliant to watch though. Absolutely fantastic stuff. The Chaos doing really well. They've still actually got quite a few reinforcements left behind. And the thing with the Tau over here is, like I said, look at them. The tank rounds are pummeling the rear lines here, which means that the reinforcements are getting thinned out way before they even get a chance to get to that front line and deploy their firepower. It does look like, again though, that superior range played in for the Tau. They're able to shoot from this point here, which is ridiculous, quite frankly. Look how close the renegade gunners are. They're on the same screen as the body pile. Whereas, you know, the Tau are just sort of like, where are they? There we go, the Tau are over here. The range difference, man. Ah, oh, Tower scum. Everyone knows it. Blue Communism Party always wins with superior range and railguns. But actually, again, neck and neck almost now, with the kill disparity of troops remaining. One thing I will say is that the Tau do have a lot of kills that have been attributed to them, because some of the troops, like these guys here, who fall off the, who are falling off the ridge and are hitting the floor and making these lovely little splats on the floor down here. Most of these kills are actually getting attributed to the Tau, so... And even when the Tau's own troops are falling off the cliff, because they have been doing it, don't get me wrong, the Tau have been running off like lemmings themselves. Little blue lemmings at there. So yeah, look, the Tau have been doing it, but also, them kills have been attributed to the Tau for some reason. Don't know why, it's just how it is. Oh my god, look at the lake. It is covered in goo. up and down here now. It does look like the Tau have won the far flank over here. Are we right? Yeah, look, there's practically no chaos left. We've got a couple of chaos. A few little stragglers over here, and that's about it. The rest of them have been cleaned up, so all this now is going to be heading down towards the main gate here that the Chaos are defending. Now, this could be a good thing. We've got a lot of Chaos tanks down here. We've even got the Black Legion. Oh my god, look, we've actually found a couple of Black Legion who are alive. They're like buses. We found 3, 4. Oh my god, there's 5 of them. There's a lot of them here, actually. Okay. So then, maybe the Chaos can actually hold this position here, because the amount of tank rounds just pummeling this corpse pile is going to make it hard for the Tau to break through. And it's also going to negate some of the firepower here from the Tau's range. Because if there's a massive corpse pile like this, the Tau have basically got to get up point blank with it. They can shoot the ones at the top, but it's not as effective as just breaching over the corpse pile itself. Speaking of corpse piles, how are we getting on this side, chaps? Okay, we're starting to extend it here. We may extend the battlefield further. But the problem is a lot of the water can drain out, but I think we've created so much blood here that it's just kept the water levels up. So, yeah, again, they're not able to fight in the centre properly. Although it does look like a couple of them have had a go. We've got a few crews over here, but not many. Look at this. Rolling hills, actually. That's wonderful. I love that kind of stuff. Look at the floor as well. The floor's just been covered in this lovely strawberry jam here. Still plenty of renegades just flinging themselves at the front. But it's hard to deny at this point that the Tau seemingly are starting to pull ahead. How the Chaos reinforcements looking over here? God, there's still a lot of tanks. Okay, so yeah, we've still... okay, yeah. The Chaos have got more reinforcements than the Tau. But I don't know. This one's going to be a tough one to call over here. If the crews here can manage to start pushing over the lip itself, then this may be a Tau victory on this part. And at the moment, it is a brutal. I don't know if the Chaos can afford to keep up this ratio. Are these actually troops back here, or did they just... No, they are. So for a second then, I thought, hang on, are they actually just corpses on the floor that I'm looking at? There you go, you can see the Tau now making their way down to that front line. The Chaos are ready and waiting for him. But, oh my god, there's an XV8 suit over there, though, somewhere. That's just been peppering them. And look at all these. Most of these deaths here are from the ranged hammerhead tanks. Just pummeling the Chaos in the flank. And trust me, you don't want your Chaos pummeled. But what I think we should do is we should hit a little time-lapse camera. Now, I'm not quite sure which side is going to last out longer. The bottom down there or this over here. I think this one will be more interesting to watch. So we'll probably hit a little time-lapse over here. And let's see if the Tau can start breaching this little gate. We'll be back in a second. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I think we should go check on how we're getting on at the other side here. Oh dear. Okay. That was pretty deadly. It looks like the Chaos have pretty much committed all of their forces here now on this side of the field. The tanks have pushed right up here, and the towers seemingly have more reinforcements left. In fact, there's actually a lot of fire warriors still left alive on this side of the field. It looks like they're having a bit of a slugging match here between the two. Who's got the greater firepower when it comes to pushing over a corpse pile like this? You would actually think the Renegade Gunners might have a little bit of a better advantage. The Tower used to shooting things from afar. The Renegades used to stabbing them with a bayonet. Oh, look at this. The Tower, though, pushing units across the water yet again. But this side of the field, the Chaos have been holding it really well, I've got to say. It has just become this brutal slugging match yet again, though. as the crew tried to push over the lip here. Now, it was kind of funny watching a load of these hammerheads do this little shuffle all the way up to the front there, and then just get taken out immediately. Look at this, though. A couple of XV8 suits. Getting a bit exuberant here, chaps. Oh, yeah, taking the tank rounds as well. You can see him doing the roly-polies. Oh, my God, where's he going? He's in the middle of a bunch of renegade gunners now. It might be your time. Oh, no, the renegade gunners there just gave up for a second. No, yeah, that's a XV8 suit is down and out for the count here. Only 69,000 chaos left, unfortunately. And it does look like that we might start getting a pincer maneuver going if we're not careful. I mean, I don't think that the chaos are going to be able to hold it on their side. I've got to say that I'm actually really surprised at how well the chaos have done. I would have thought that the chaos, the tower would have had this way more handedly, using that superior range here, but they've just been finding it really hard to deploy. Just the sheer weight of numbers and channeled into this narrow area just creates this natural barrier, which means that a lot of the fire warriors have had to push up to this point. So they're just trying to overwhelm them, and again, them tank rounds, man, just decimating that front line, and if they're missing, they're just hitting all the reinforcements behind them, so it's happy days for the chaos when it comes to that. But as long as we can hold these two little choke points, we should be okay. I mean, I don't know how they're going to do that with 55,000 against 200,000. Well, like I said, Chaos had the numerical advantage at the beginning of this, but I think a lot of the XV8 suits did a lot of the work in cutting down vast swathes here of the renegade gunners. Just look at that battlefield behind. Oh my god. You make some really cool patterns in the actual water here. That looks really awesome. I like that. But yeah, last 50,000 then. Let's go hit that time lapse. Watch the chaos get slowly wiped out. It's inevitable at this point. You can sort of see that battle in the background, but what you'll probably see is a bunch of town making their way up. We'll be back in a moment. Here we go then, ladies and gentlemen, the collapse of the gatehouse, the tower finally pushing through here with the crew front, and it looks like most of them are now at the top here, and we're just getting this chaos lemming charge. I mean, look at this. It's ridiculous. You can see the tower actually returning fire at these boys up here, shooting a few of them off, the ones who aren't running off. Oh, I absolutely love it. Look at that. Just a slow demise here now for chaos. There's about 10,000 of them apparently still on the field. I don't know where. Okay, so it looks like we've got a few stuck over this side. But yeah, they've largely been killed by the looks of it now. Yeah, Tau finally pushing through past the gatehouse. Look at that battlefield. Oh my days, ladies and gentlemen. I think basically now all the remaining chaos are just stuck in dodgy places on the field where they haven't been able to path out of properly. But ladies and gentlemen, I think we can wrap this one up here. Oh my god, look at that. Absolutely glorious. But yes, let's wrap this one up here. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, I do hope you had a blast. I know I did. Please do comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And as always, until next time, peace.